and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. On today's program, we sit down with Kelly Eisner from the American Red Cross in a little bit. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, we have brilliant sunshine out there. Spring arrives at 5:24 this afternoon, and it is going to feel like it with a high this afternoon in the low 50s with nice light winds as well. Chilly again tonight, not as cold as last night. Clear skies, lows tonight only into the mid-30s, and even warmer tomorrow with a mix of sun and clouds. Tomorrow's highs closer to 60 degrees. Could see some showers around here Wednesday night. Highs Wednesday into the mid-50s. Those showers will be spring showers by then, and they will linger into Thursday, mostly in the afternoon. Thursday's highs again in the upper 50s. Sunshine and again 42 degrees in Quincy right now. Checking news for you today, the next Quincy police chief could be a current lieutenant. The field of applicants will be opened up to lieutenants because there are not enough eligible captains to apply for the position. Chief Paul Keenan will retire at the mandatory age of 65 soon after 15 years as chief and 40 years with the Quincy Police Department. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch has said that the next chief will come from within the department. An outside hiring firm will be brought in to recommend the next chief to the mayor. The pool of applicants will be allowed to apply for the chief's job beginning in mid-April. Parental leave is a major sticking point in the contract talks between the Quincy Teachers Union and the city. During a recent teacher rally in Quincy Square, Lincoln Hancock School teacher Erin Edgerly echoed the sentiments of many teachers calling for more up-to-date policies when it comes to giving teachers time off after childbirth.
This includes a reasonable parental leave benefit, adequate prep time, staffing of positions to help our most vulnerable students, and compensation that addresses the reality of the educational crisis occurring across the nation. Mayor Koch has the ability to settle a fair and modern contract today for the students and educators of Quincy. The funds are available. Continued delays by this mayor will only cause long-term problems that we can easily begin to address now. This vote of no confidence is due to the inaction of this mayor, his school committee, and the administration of Quincy Public Schools for allowing the mayor to dictate an arbitrary cap. Mayor Koch, fund our schools.
Other areas in dispute include teacher longevity pay and classroom preparation time. The nearly 900 members of the teachers union took a 98% vote of no confidence in Mayor Thomas Koch last week after a 4-hour bargaining session failed to reach an agreement. The contract talks are in state mediation with bargaining sessions scheduled for this coming Thursday and next Monday. Real estate development company LBC Boston has secured a $50 million financing package led by Rockland Trust Company for the construction of Nova Hancock, an apartment complex in Quincy Center. Nova Hancock is LBC Boston's second project in Quincy. The project will span 220,000 square feet and include 215 market rate units as well as ground floor retail space. The 7-story complex will be located at the intersection of Hancock Street and Revere Road. LBC's first project, Nova Suites, is just down the road on Hancock Street at Cottage Avenue. City of Quincy will be seeking requests for proposals to install solar electric panels on 15 public buildings or properties. City Council recently agreed to allow the administration to seek out solar energy companies to install the systems on schools and other public buildings. Quincy's Energy and Sustainability Director, Shelley Dean, says the goal is to reduce the city's carbon footprint while at the same time lowering energy costs.
Any electricity that gets generated immediately gets used by the building. Then we can significantly reduce our electricity costs. We've significantly reduced our electricity costs at these 13 buildings, not just the 7 cents per kilowatt hour, 7.4 cents per kilowatt hour, but because we've reduced our demand charges. Because at any given moment, when the sun is shining, we're just not we're generating some of the electricity the building is using. And this building is going to be using electricity 24/7.
Right.
So For all electric buildings, it's really important when you have the opportunity to pair it with solar so that you can reduce your overall electricity use and your costs associated with that electricity use.
Dean also responded to a concern that some trees may be impacted by solar energy panels installed on the grounds of the new Quincy Animal Shelter off Quarry Street. She said there's a spot that would not require any trees to be taken down. Quincy College has announced their guest speaker for this year's commencement ceremony, Kenneth Turner. President and CEO of the Massachusetts Life Sciences Center, will deliver the keynote address during the college's 65th commencement exercises Friday, May 19th at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Quincy. Turner heads an economic development and investment agency dedicated to supporting the growth and development of the life sciences industry in Massachusetts. Quincy College has received more than $1 million in grants from that agency for its biotechnology and compliance program. Turner previously was Director of Diversity and Inclusion for Massport and held management positions with AOL Time Warner, Hallmark Cards, and Hasbro Toys. He's also a U.S. Navy veteran. Well, registration's underway for Interfaith Social Services of Quincy's annual Stop the Stigma 5K road race and walk. Now, the route starts and ends at the Kennedy Center and winds through Squantum neighborhoods with views of the harbor and the Boston skyline. Hundreds of participants will raise money for Interfaith's New Directions Counseling Center. It allows individuals and families to receive mental health care regardless of income. The center serves anybody seeking counseling, but also serves as a safety net for the uninsured or underinsured using a sliding scale fee. New clients receive the first 4 sessions free of charge. The event is set for April 29th, but anybody who registers before this coming Friday will receive a race t-shirt. You can go to stopthestigma5k.org for all the details. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, we sit down with Kelly Eisner of the American Red Cross for an update next. Welcome back. We're so happy to welcome back our friend from the American Red Cross. Kelly Eisner is joining us once again for an update on an upcoming blood drive right here in Quincy and other events happening in the spring and even summer and beyond that. So Kelly, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you in person again, Joe.
Right, exactly. You know,
Always
all these
nice.
Yeah, the little squares on the computer screens are not ideal.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, it's nice to be back in studio too. How's things going?
Good,
Yep.
good. Things are good. It's a busy time for the Red Cross. You know, we've got a lot mission-wise and a lot of blood drives on the calendar. We're really trying to hit the ground running now that the ground is starting to thaw.
Exactly, yeah. How did the winter season go? I know that there was always concern about a shortage, especially if there were an influx of patients into the main hospitals, right?
Absolutely. You know, we always kind of, when we're getting through the holiday season, that's a really tough time because, you know, people are busy. They're not always making or keeping their blood donation appointments. Right now, the blood supply is, you know, I'm never going to come on and say, oh, it's great, we don't need you. I wish.
Right.
But, you know, we're not to the point right now that we're really starting to panic about needs for now.
Okay,
That
for
could-
now. She puts that
Sadly.
little caveat in, yeah. Well, I know at one point it was down to like a 2 or 3 week supply, so that's critical, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was interesting. The entire pandemic has been sort of a roller coaster with the blood supply because at first there was a shortage and then people realized that once, I think, you know, the message got out that, you know, you can come to a blood drive, it's considered essential. Then we started to see it recover, but then finding places to hold drives was a challenge. So we're still just kind of getting our feet back underneath us
that
after
right?
all that. It's been a tough few years.
Yeah. I know that your volunteer staff took a hit as well. Is that starting to rebound a bit?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, we're always looking for new volunteers. It's been tough. You know, the Red Cross has lots of opportunities for volunteers, but just finding people that are interested in, you know, what they want to do and matching that with the right opportunity. People are, I think, finally starting to get out more, but yeah, we could always use the help. Come work with me.
There you go. Or any of the centers. I think Weymouth is the big one on here on the South Shore, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we are actually looking in the next couple of months to open another fixed site blood donation center. So I'll have more news on that for you in the coming weeks.
Oh,
more to
do
come.
please keep us in the loop for that.
So-
Sure, excellent. In the very short term, right here in Quincy, just a week from today, will be the blood drive at the Sons of Italy Hall, right?
That's right,
Yep.
1 to 6:30, and all presenting donors at any blood drive any Red Cross blood drive in March will receive a $10 prepaid Visa gift card as a thank you for donating.
Nice.
In addition, you're also entered to win a $3,000 prepaid
Ooh.
gift card. That's a nationwide incentive, so
Okay.
I think there's a total of 5 winners, but you
never
better
know.
odds than
Then not.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Might as well. If you're going to come, it's one more reason to come out. as
Yeah.
well.
I know that you encourage appointments, but you'll accept walk-ins.
We
right?
will. We
Yeah.
will accept walk-ins. The appointments just give our staff a chance to prepare so
Mm-hmm.
that we don't keep people waiting. If we all of a sudden, if it's slow all morning and then we get 16 people in at once, again, good problem to have. I
Right.
will never complain about
Right.
that, but it does make it harder to deliver a good donor experience when we're kind of rushing all at once.
Sure.
So those appointments let us know who's coming when.
Okay. And I'm assuming that the website's the best way to do that, or
Yep.
your app. Yep. Okay.
That's true. The app too. The website is redcrossblood.org. You can search by your zip code. The app is free on Google Play and in the App Store. I like the app because it lets you make your appointment, but it also you can keep your donor card in there. You can schedule several appointments. You can give
Oh.
blood every 56 days, so you can kind of schedule out. And it also keeps track of what we. When we do the little pre-physical, when you donate, it keeps track of your blood pressure and your heart rate and things like that.
Oh, okay.
In our data-driven society, it's
Yeah.
one more way to have some information in your
Yes,
pocket.
yes. So, for folks who have never donated blood before, though, what considerations do they need to know?
Hydrate.
Okay.
That's my number one piece of advice is just make sure, because you think that you're losing about a pint of blood, you're losing about a pint of liquid too. So just make sure that you drink lots of water the day before and up until your donation. It makes the process easier as well. And then remember to hydrate afterwards as well.
Okay.
We'll insist that you sit in our little canteen area and have some snacks and also drink water or juice, just something to kind of refresh.
Okay. Any COVID precautions that folks should be aware of when they go to donate?
I mean, the one thing I'll say is that, if you're not feeling great, it's totally fine to reschedule your appointment.
Okay.
If you're showing, and that's not just COVID, but seasonal flu as well,
Right.
any sort of symptoms, just put it off a week until you're feeling better. Everything will go well, we understand. And, obviously, if you, with the COVID vaccine, if you know the name of the manufacturer of your vaccine, just bring that with you. You can check that in the
Oh,
registry.
should you bring your vaccination card with
The
you?
card is ideal,
Okay,
yep. But
okay.
as long as I got the Pfizer booster, or I got the Moderna, then the vaccine is not a deterrent for donating blood. We just like to know what vaccine.
Sure. As you know, the state and federal COVID emergency rules are coming to an end in May. Does that impact the Red Cross?
Everything does, so I think we'll have to see exactly what that means.
Yeah.
But we try to stay in touch with our donors. As soon as these changes come from the FDA, we try to do our best to communicate with our donors. That's another good reason to have the app as well.
Okay. All right. Good to know. You're branching out into smoke detectors and carbon
Yes.
monoxide detectors. Not
Yes.
really branching out because you've always been involved with this, but this is kind of new, right?
The Red Cross has a huge mission. We touch so many different areas that I think people know us for blood, but you may not know that we also every day our teams respond to home fires right alongside the fire department. So if you have a fire in your home, the fire department comes, puts it out, makes sure everyone's out safe, and then the Red Cross is there to make sure that you have financial assistance to get, if you're going out in the middle of the night, you
Yeah.
probably aren't wearing all your clothing,
Right.
to replace clothing, to find shelter, food, snacks, water, and comfort too. It's an incredibly traumatic experience, so we have teams that are specially trained to just kind of talk you through what just happened and what the next steps are, because we've done it. We can point you in the right direction.
There's shock and trauma right after, right? The immediate needs that you need, and then there's longer term needs as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in an area like, really anywhere in Massachusetts, the housing situation is such that, it's nice to have a guide that kind of knows what services are available, because if you're out of your home for months. But we'd rather not get to that point.
Exactly. Prevention.
Prevention,
Yes.
that's a big part of what we do. So yes, the Red Cross has what we call the Home Fire Campaign, where we install smoke alarms for free, up to 3 usually, depending on codes and things like that. So if you call us, you can register for a free smoke alarm. We'll come out, we'll install it, we'll do some safety education. One of the things that I didn't know until I worked for the Red Cross is if that alarm goes off, you have 2 minutes to get out. And that's 2 minutes from a dead sleep
Wow.
if it happens in the middle of the night.
Okay.
So part of what we do is we have a little sheet and we map out exactly in your house what are some ways to get to the exit and how do I do this in 2 minutes so that you don't have to come up with that plan when that plan is being put into place.
Right. Good advice. Same for carbon monoxide detectors as well?
The alarms, I don't actually know if they have
Okay.
carbon monoxide in them, but it is something that, this time of year, we do encourage people whenever you turn your clocks back to test both your smoke alarm and your carbon monoxide detector. as
Yeah,
well.
the Quincy Fire Department has a similar program right here in the city.
Yes.
Do you partner with them?
We do.
yeah.
And actually, last year, we partnered with Quincy for a big one-day installation event. We try to do them at various cities throughout the year, but this year we're doing Boston. Last year we did Quincy, where I forget what the final number was, but our goal was 250 homes just in one morning.
Wow,
Which,
okay.
we can do it with volunteers,
Yeah.
and we have incredible partners at the Quincy Fire Department. I am always so grateful for the work that they do. They really do believe in prevention. I think anyone that's ever worked adjacent to the fire response community realizes that not every fire can be prevented, but most of them can, and you
Right.
can improve your odds just with a few simple steps.
Sure. And no like age requirements or income requirements, Kelly?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope.
Just sign up.
We just ask that you call us in advance, so that we can make an appointment. We try to do chunks of geography at the same
Well,
time.
for
so-
logistical reasons,
Yeah,
right? Just to make it
exactly.
more convenient. Yeah, you want to be darting from West Quincy over to Quincy Point.
Yeah, it gets tricky.
Sure. Okay. Good to know. And is there a deadline for that, or is that?
No, the program runs year round. These the sound the alarm or those one-day installation events, those generally happen in the spring. But really, if you're in need of an alarm, you can reach out to us year round.
Good to know. All right. There's a big event coming up later this month, right?
Yes, March 29th is our big fundraiser. It's the Boston Heroes Breakfast.
Okay.
And we say Boston in kind of the greater Boston sense.
Well, of course.
so.
Yes.
But yeah, we're so excited about it. We're handing out 7 hero awards and 2 additional awards. These are people that may or may not, some of them have been affiliated with the Red Cross, but all of them embrace the humanitarian spirit that we like to recognize. People that have just either through their training or because they were civilians and just through their bravery have gone above and beyond. We are talking to some paramedics and construction workers who together rescued a man out of a building collapse, saved his life. We have one of our Blood Hero Awards. She's a sickle cell warrior who, despite living with sickle cell disease herself and the pain that brings, she is an advocate for the community. She counsels patients. She's a life coach. Just one of these people that everybody is better for knowing.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate that I've gotten to meet her in person. Yeah, it's going to be a great event. March 29th,
Okay.
8 to 9:50.
Ish.
It's live.
It's live. Okay. Yeah.
So.
And where is it?
It's at the State Room in Boston, and we do have information on our website. There's still sponsorships available.
Okay.
It's redcross.org/MA.
Okay.
Massachusetts.
And the funds raised, are they geared to any specific area?
The funds raised go to help the Red Cross mission where it's needed most.
Okay.
So that could be home fire campaign. It could be in our blood collection. I mean, we try to keep it as broad as possible just to make sure that the missions. Again, the longer you spend time with the Red Cross, you realize, we have missions in so many different ways. So this is a way to just make sure that the money is going to where it's needed.
Okay. Is this new? Is this the first year that you've done
It's the
this?
first year in person. This iteration of this event, this will be our 3rd year, but the first 2
Oh.
were virtual thanks
Wow.
to COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a way to launch a new
Yeah.
event virtually.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
And I have to point out, too, we're so glad to have the support of the Boston business community. Ted Truscott, who's the CEO of Columbia Threadneedle Investments, is leading leading this year's event. He's done an amazing job bringing in business colleagues and their partners, and that's, it helps the Red Cross build our awareness too. I mean, people, I don't think anyone hasn't heard of us, but maybe aren't familiar with all the various work that we do. So we're happy to get everybody in a room and just say, hey, we do this and this.
No, I think that's probably true. Even folks who've been volunteering for a long time aren't aware of other aspects of volunteer opportunities, right? Yeah.
And you kind of fall in a niche. Like if you're a blood donor ambassador, if you're volunteering at blood drives, you may not know that there's this fire alarm program, smoke alarm programs. So.
Sure. So it might be an opportunity for them to branch out to in new volunteer opportunities, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. March 29th, I'm thinking, the next day is the season opener at Fenway Park.
Yes.
Believe it or not. I don't know why they're doing that in March this year, but they are. And the Red Cross, I know, takes over Fenway Park usually at least once a year, right?
We do. Yeah. This year, and I'm not sure it's been finalized, but I do believe that, every year for the last 20 years, we've done our massive Day of Remembrance blood drive at Fenway Park, which that's such a great event. We have the support of the Red Sox, we have support of business leaders, the governor usually makes an appearance. It's a fantastic day. We can usually, in that one event alone, collect anywhere between 250 and 500 units of blood, which, to put that in perspective, is more than we need to collect on a daily basis the whole state.
Wow. Okay.
So it's a big deal, and we throw all our resources towards that drive just because we have the space to do it.
Sure.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to come out.
Usually, I think it's usually in the springtime, is it not?
That one is actually in September. It's
in September.
For September 11th.
Okay. Of course. Yeah.
But if the Red Sox weren't already using their stadium in the spring, we would have loved to.
Yeah.
They've got one or two things going on.
I suppose, yeah. We haven't talked about, and I know you always like to mention platelet donations as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking about that, because that's something else that I don't think people always understand. So you can do a regular blood donation. If you come to one of our fixed sites, Weymouth is the closest one to here. It's a different kind of donation that, in addition to what's in your red blood cells, platelets are your body's clotting factor. So if you cut yourself, it's the platelets that come and kind of stop you from bleeding just endlessly. And a lot of the platelets that we collect, more than 50%, go to patients dealing with cancer treatments, either in the beginning or throughout. It's a pretty common thing, unfortunately. My mother used platelets during her cancer battle. So yes, the difference with platelets too. So in addition to it being a slightly different kind of donation, you have to come to one of our fixed sites. It takes a little longer, about 2 hours, as opposed to a little under an hour for a regular blood donation.
Okay.
It's also, your body replenishes faster because having to do with the machine, we're hydrating you there, so you can actually give platelets every 7 days.
Oh.
And what's amazing is I meet platelet donors all the time that come every 7 days.
Is that right?
And they're really incredible. A lot of them are people that have been touched by cancer, either in their own family or friends, and just want to give back. It's a really incredible thing and so greatly in need. Platelets can't be frozen. So.
Oh, okay.
So when they're donated, we have about a 5-day window to get them into a patient.
Gotcha.
So.
Can a cancer patient who's been cured, Kelly, be a blood donor?
In theory, yes.
Okay.
It all depends on what medications.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of times, years after you're considered cancer-free, you might still be on certain medications. It's usually the medications that kind of interfere. But our phlebotomists have a running list, and they can always talk you through it. Or you can call 1-800-RED CROSS and talk to someone at our donor service center. They can, if you say, well, I'm on this, and this, they'll say, okay, this is good. This one you might have to wait.
Okay. And again, if you can't be a donor for whatever reason, you can always volunteer, right?
You can volunteer.
Yeah.
One of the volunteer positions that I love to speak about is, I think I mentioned it, our blood donor ambassadors. So these are the people that are at the front desk of a blood drive. So when you come in to donate, they're the first person that's smiling at you and they're checking your name. It's a great way, I think we're all sort of lacking human contact. Even now, I know things are getting back to normal, but it was still a long time to go without. So it's a great way to just be out in the community. We do blood drives all over eastern Massachusetts, and this includes our fixed sites as well.
Okay.
So you can find a volunteer shift in your neighborhood. Always Indeed.
All right. Anything else we should let folks know about right now, do you think?
No,
A lot going on.
Yeah.
That's good. 1-800-RED-CROSS, redcrossblood.org.
Yep.
Or that 800 number for the smoke and carbon
For the
monoxide
smoke alarms,
program.
yep.
All right. So good to see you, Kelly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joe. Always a pleasure.
Likewise. Come back, please.
Of course.
All right. Just enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. Really nice. Lots of sunshine. Don't forget spring springs later this afternoon, 5:24 p.m. if you're keeping track. Highs in the low 50s. Mid-30s this evening. Closer to 60 tomorrow. Some showers around here Wednesday night and into Thursday. But again, daytime highs mid to upper 50s right through the end of the week. Thanks again to Kelly Eisner from the American Red Cross for joining us today. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Friday here in the program, Robert Pearson from the Norfolk County RSVP program. Meantime, head over to our website anytime. That's qatv.org. You'll find our latest programs there. There's news, information, video on demand, live streaming, and lots more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.